I'm Matthew Barnes. I play hockey on the Brock men's hockey team. I'm currently in my 5th year studying sport management.
I'm Sherika, and I'm in my 3rd year of media and communications, and I'm on the Brock track and field team.
So I'm from and born in Mississauga, Ontario. My mom is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and my dad is from Trinidad and Tobago.
For me, I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and my parents are originally from Jamaica. So, I have to represent Jamaica today.
So I started playing hockey when I was 8 years old, and I'm 25 now, so 17 years. Long time.
No, good for you. Ever since I could ever walk or run. Literally, I started from a very young age, growing up watching the Olympics and, watching my favorite, track and field athletes. I always knew I wanted to do it, so I got the opportunity to do it in elementary school, and also my church does, church Christian league, so I was able to run then, and I've been doing it ever since then, and I still love it till this day. Honestly, as I said before, just watching the Olympics, watching the greats that I love, some people that I really love, Allison Felix, Sydney McLaughlin, we have Usain Bolt, of course, Jillian Fraser, all of those incredible athletes that are iconic and legendary. Just watching them and seeing how incredible they are as individuals, especially just not as athletes, but just as individuals themselves. Also, because my elementary school only had 2 sports, so there's only men's basketball and track and field, and of course, the only sport I can play was track and field. So that's kind of how I got into it, aside from just watching it. So once I seen how fast people can run, I'm like, maybe I can do that too, and I did. So here I am today, till this day, still running and still loving the sport.
Yeah, for me, I just wanted to continue and develop as a player and as a person. And I think that going to the university level allowed me to increase myself as a person, increase my game, and just continue playing sport and hopefully develop to go to the next level. As a kid, I've always been a competitive person, and I think that I've always pushed to be the best person I can be. So for me, I just want to continue to further my career, and also looking around and seeing there really isn't many black people in hockey. So I like to just be a role model and show that the kids of the future that there's potential to make it and further your career as long as you're willing to put the work in and do whatever it takes. So as long as I could be a representative of the black community in hockey, I'm willing to play it out and enjoy my time while doing it.
Wow, that's a loaded question because I feel like I've had a lot of great supporters. I can't say there's one specific person, but I can definitely say my parents, of course. My dad especially, because he is the one that I kind of watched the Olympics with when I was growing up. He's always encouraging me and always just been there for me, always wanting to just bring me to the track and we do some workouts and whatnot. So he's always been supportive. My mom absolutely has been supportive as well, both of them financially in that aspect. I'll also say my significant other, my boyfriend, has definitely been very supportive, especially at the university level. It is very difficult as a student athlete in university. It comes with all those pressures of school and also your sport and wanting to excel in both. So I think with his support, it's been definitely needed and very appreciative of that. And I also say my coaches. My coaches in university have actually been one of the best coaches I've ever had in my entire life of doing sports, honestly. I think one of the biggest things that I give kudos to them and I'm very appreciative of is the fact that they allow you to take your mental health days if you really need that time. They're understanding. They know that we're humans and that we are students at the end of the day. So if there's a time that we're just not doing okay, they'll check in on us and they'll say, hey, if you need that day off, take that day off. And they're just very supportive in general, and I'm just grateful for them. So I have a good amount of supporters, I can say, but yeah, those are probably my biggest supporters that I've had in my sport. Yeah.
Yeah, I like all those answers. I'll stick to just my parents. I do think that I also have a really big support cast, and if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here now, or would have the motivation to continue pushing and playing. But both my parents have been huge in my journey towards being where I am today. Whether that's waking up at 5 a.m. to driving me to the rinks in the morning and then going to work and dropping me off at school, or that's cooking food for me, pre-game meals, or that's them letting me go live abroad to play hockey and kind of be without their oldest son for the year. But that's also financial support as well as like spiritual support as well. Without them, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. And yeah, I appreciate everything they've done for me.
That's really good. Yeah, parents are definitely our heroes.
The
I'll
best,
definitely say. Yeah.
Exactly. I'll say the 3 words that best describe me would be humble, ambitious, and determined. I think all of those words, yeah, just describe my lifestyle. I like to attack everything with being humble, and I'm an ambitious person. I like to maybe tackle things that I might not think are doable, but I end up finding ways. And I would like to say determined because in order to do what might be big goals, you have to be determined and you have to put your 100% effort into in order to get things done.
For me, I'll say dedicated, confident. I'd love to say humble, but you said it. I guess I can say humble as well. I think humble I'll say because my mom has always like drilled in my head to like be humble and like humble yourself before God. No, literally. No, but like she's always told me it's good to be humble, and like that's kind of like someone who I look up to as well as like a humble woman who I aspire to be, my mother, literally. So I try my best to be humble in everything I do because at the end of the day, like I wouldn't be where I am without her, without my dad, like without God and everything of that sort. Dedicated because I try my best to whatever like I'm putting my mind to, I really want to stick to it. So like with track, I try to say like I am pretty dedicated to the sport because I've committed pretty much my entire life to it. And with confidence, I feel like for me, it kind of just shows who I've become in a sense. Not to say that I haven't always been confident, but I've definitely been a little bit more to myself growing up. And eventually, like kind of coming into university, I've kind of found a little bit more of myself. I've discovered so much more, especially in this time of our lives as young adults, we're discovering so much. So for me, confidence is like something I've built. And as I said, like I'm pretty self-assured. So I'll definitely say confidence is one way to describe me. For me, how I prepare for a meet. So pretty much the night before, I watch all of like my race videos or even like practice videos and look at like my starts and look at my races. It helps me kind of get in the game and also kind of like put my body into my shoes in a sense. So just constantly watching those before I go to sleep. And then even the day of, I listen to gospel music. I used to listen to a lot of rap, and then I kind of transferred over to gospel, and that's definitely helped me put myself in like a better, positive mindset. So just kind of listening to music is important for me because it's also like just a way of life for me. It's something that puts me into a good mood, and also helps me kind of get by the morning or the day or whenever I'm listening to it. So listening to music and watching my videos, or also I try to watch people that I look up to. I try to watch like Olympic videos. That helps me kind of just get myself in that mindset. So, yeah.
For me, the way I prepare for games, I used to be really superstitious, and then I thought that was pretty mentally draining. And I always thought that like if I go towards practice, I get there early, take my stick, do the usual that you do before a game, but I never really had any like conscious thoughts, or I wasn't necessarily visualizing or mentally preparing. I just kind of went out there, practiced, I was prepared, did everything I could to be ready, but mental wise, it wasn't really a priority. Or a thought. So the way I go about games is really just preparing on routine as far as getting a good sleep, eating food before games at a good time, and just being ready and knowing my assignments. One thing I do is mentally prepare on knowing like what my game is and what I have to bring to the table. I think especially on a team, you need to know your role and need to know what you do best and that nobody else can do in order for the team to succeed. So reminding myself on what my duty is on the team and just going out there and playing my game really has been my specialty. There's no rhyme or reason to me doing what I do pre-game. I just go out there and play. So the phrase that I like to live by, that I have written at home, as well as I put on my sticks before games just to remind myself. What I'm here for is MAD, which stands for Make a Difference. And that can mean something small or mean something big, but I just like to remind myself that I'm here for a specific reason, and I'm here to make a difference. No matter if it's in my life or in someone else's life, I just like to remind myself that I want to be here for positive change.
I'll say like a Bible verse that is one of my favorites, or is my favorite. Psalm 64 verse 1, hear my voice, O God, and my prayers, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. As a Christian, like I love to make sure that people know that. It's my walk of life with God, and that's very important to me. My relationship with God is very important, and He is definitely one of the main and only reasons that I'm even standing here alive, breathing today, and able to do all the things that I'm able to do. But the saying, it's just basically asking God to just protect me and guide me from all the evil things that are going on in this world. Because as they say, the devil is a roaring lion. But no, definitely God has helped me get through every single challenge and problem that I've gone through. And that's a saying, or that's the verse that I go by every day, that I pray to God to just protect me, to guide me, and to help me get through every single thing that I'm going through in my life. So, yeah.
Nice. I like that one.
Thanks.
My best advice that someone's given me, it's not necessarily like Black History Month oriented, but the best advice someone's given me is you're never as good as you are, and you're never as bad as you are. And that was from our chapel Sean, who comes to the rink, and we kind of do Bible study. And what we talk about there, or what that advice meant, is really just to stay even keel. And never let your highs be too high and never let your lows be too low. And it kind of humbles yourself and keeps you grounded. So whenever you're too low or whenever you're too high, I like to remind myself about that advice, and it usually flattens me out, which I'm super grateful for.
I feel like I have so many like small talks with wise people. I'll definitely say, like, for my mom, like, just the biggest thing is like keep God in everything. Like, that's a big thing for me. I feel like with so much that happens as a student athlete, you know, you do endure and go through a lot of challenges, and mental and physical. It's all like kind of like physically and mentally draining. So I think for me, keeping God in like everything I do has helped me a lot. Reminding myself that He's there has helped me get through a lot of challenges, and especially like a lot of mental health issues that I've had. Like, He's definitely helped me get through it, and I owe it all to Him, as I said before. Like, if I keep God in everything, I can do anything. So, yeah, with God, all things are possible.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
I think each year, the steel blade for me, I think each year is different and is unique in its own way. But just being able to play in front of a lot of the Brock body and fellow classmates, friends, family on such a large stage is awesome. And I'd like to say it's a once in a lifetime experience, but it's happened 2 years for me, so I'm super fortunate. But it really just, for me, like, being Hoko and just knowing what it's like and knowing how it feels to be a Badger is something that I will definitely cherish upon graduation, and would tell all the future Badger hockey players specific just to cherish the moment and enjoy it, because once it's done, and this is like a great event and experience put on by Busu, Brock University, Brocktv, everyone. Gotta give the shout out.
Yeah, favorite memory at Brock. I'll definitely say last year, BLSA, they hosted or had karaoke at here at Isaac's. I actually sang there, and it was very nerve-wracking for me, but it was my first time. I actually sang with my friend, and it's like a memory that I'll always have, just because it's obviously karaoke. I sang, so it was obviously something that I love to do, but also just having a club that brings Black individuals together to come and just have fun. And those events in general are just kind of like one of my favorite things and favorite memories that I do have. Just being able to see people like me in a community that isn't Black dominated, or even just people of color dominated in a sense. So just those events have been like one of my favorite memories, and I'll always hold in my heart, because I just love seeing people like me come together and to just have fun and to celebrate just being us, and just having fun in general. I also say my first year going to OUAs was a big accomplishment for me in a sense. I feel like obviously when you're a freshman, you have something to prove. So for me, just being kind of nervous and scared and not knowing what the future held, going to every meet and hoping that I would pass, or like pass, OUA standard, or hit it, I should say, was a big thing for me. So when I made my PV and then I also hit OUA standard, like, not even kidding, I cried. It was a big accomplishment. It's something that I was very excited for, and I obviously owe it all to God and also to my coaches for just being very supportive of that. So I'll definitely say that's one of like my favorite memories, getting to OUA's first year and also second year, but yeah.
I have two questions on that. One, what was the song that you sang in karaoke?
Oh my gosh.
People want to know.
Do you remember? Were you there? It's what Courtney.
It was.
Oh
It's
shoot.
a duet.
Stay.
Stay.
Stay from Rihanna.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, that's a
Great
good one.
song.
That's a
Great
good one.
song. Great song. Yeah.
And then also, like, when you're competing, and you said you hit a PB,
Yeah.
is that because of adrenaline, or is that like how? I always wonder, like, how do you hit PB when you're on the platform in front of everyone?
I feel like it's a mixture of
when
everything.
You've been practicing.
Yeah, I feel like for me, people say nerves help them, but nerves literally work against me every time I'm running.
Yeah, I feel like that.
So I think for me, just kind of remembering everything that I've been doing, I've like been training for, and like all the things that had to be improved on or tweaked. I think I tried my best not to overthink it and just kind of go with the flow, and it kind of happened. And I remember my next PB, which is the fastest time I've ever ran, was last year at Windsor. And I don't even know how it happened. I think it's just more of like adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of happens, because track and field, like, or track I should say specifically, you're literally running and like you black out. Like, you don't remember anything that happened. So for me, it's literally, I think it's just adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret that in hockey there's a misrepresentation in Black athletes and colored athletes in general. And I definitely think with time things are getting better. Things such as the HDA, the Hockey Diversity Alliance in the NHL, is a huge recruitment tool for recruiting BIPOC athletes and people of color to the sport. And hopefully in the future things will get better. And currently I think things are starting to get better, specifically at Brock. Our head coach, TJ Ministersky, has done a good job in creating a platform for people of color, last year we hired a black assistant coach, which was my first black assistant coach in regular season hockey. So things like that are encouraging to black athletes and colored athletes to see that and see that there could be a future in hockey as long as they're willing to put the work in. And looking into the future, the Brock men's hockey program committed to another black athlete. So shout out Zach Stringer. So we're super excited to see him play for the Badgers for next year. And I also think that just being able to see people of color playing the sport is a huge recruitment tool in motivating the future athletes to join the sport of hockey. I know it's not going to be a quick process, but it'll be a journey. But I definitely want to be there for the process, and whether it's a small piece or a big piece, I want to be a piece of the solution, and I'm here to support everything that goes on within the sport. So, yeah.
Yeah. In terms of track and field at Brock, I definitely can say we're a pretty diverse team. I would like to say we're probably the most diverse team at Brock, just because with a sport like track and field, it has multiple events, so it kind of allows every type of person to come in and show their skills and their abilities. And that's what I kind of love about the sport. It's pretty broad, and it allows everyone to like tap into their skill set. So I can definitely say like track and field is pretty diverse at Brock. We have people from different cultures and different religions. And I can't say I have any complaints in a sense. I'm pretty satisfied with how diverse it is. I'll say that there's always like room for improvement. But I've never really had complaints when it comes down to diversity at track and field at Brock, so yeah. But I always will say like there's always room for improvement. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's definitely at a good level of diversity and inclusivity, so. Well, of course, like for me, when I first came to Brock, it was pretty much COVID time, so I only was seeing teammates and then that was it. So being able to actually have teammates that were also people of color, I think helped me kind of navigate through a place that's not very much Black or like BIPOC dominated in a sense. So just having those type of teammates with me and by my side to help me. And then also like joining clubs, I think has helped me maintain that type of self-identity and culture within myself. With a club like BLSA, I think that helps me find people who are of my race and who are of my culture and understand how my upbringing was. And that's how I found a lot of friends and made a lot of connections, which has helped me a lot, navigating, especially in a place like St. Catharines. And that's how I've gained like a lot of connections in terms of how I can like go about networking with myself. I do have like a YouTube channel, so that's allowed me to kind of tap into other creatives who understand my culture and understand like how it is when you're on a platform like YouTube. Another way that I'm able to tap into or like maintain my self-culture or self-identity is just being confident in myself. I knew coming into a school like Brock, it wasn't very diverse in a sense, so I knew that I had to come in just being myself and not letting anything else tear me down in a sense or like make me want to change who I am. I'm really self-assured in a sense, and I'm not trying to like say like as if I'm like cocky or anything. Like I think I'm just a little more confident and self-assured, and I knew that especially coming into university, there are going to be several different types of challenges and situations that I'm going to have to endure and jump over in a sense. So just being self-assured, I knew that that was something I had to walk into university being, so.
For me, maintaining my self-identity and culture at Brock is a little difficult. I'm around predominantly white people for the majority of the day. So for me, I watch a lot of interviews, I listen to a lot of music by Black artists, and I try and keep and maintain roots through that, as well as research. I like to keep up with the Black community and see what's going on. But there are outlets within Brock that I have joined, like the Black Student Success Center that was recently opened here, which is somewhere that I checked out and was able to see what was going on in there. And that is a good area to go and meet like-minded people and Black people. So the resources are there at Brock, and it's really just a matter of signing up or attending them.
Yeah, for me, it's a time to educate, obviously, a time to learn about my culture and understand why and how did I get to where I am today. Of course, I'm constantly educating myself as a Black individual, and I do live the life of a Black person, so that's already a plus and already something that I don't necessarily have to figure out myself. Like, I already know I grew up the way I grew up. But I think just it's a time to really just submerge yourself in the culture of Black history and kind of understanding where you come from, understanding the people who have come before me, what they had to do to even get to where they got to, and to allow me and many other generations after and before me as well to have the specific privileges that we have the opportunities we have. And although that is what has happened in the past, I definitely still have my challenges. And that's not to say that like life is so difficult, but I have my challenges. I do have obstacles that I do have to jump over. You know, the world is not perfect, and as much as there has been a lot of development in terms of diversity and inclusivity, there is still so much more to improve on.
Yeah, to me, Black History Month means a lot, but I definitely think it's a time to reflect and look upon whether it's your ancestors or people that paved the way and trailblazed in order for us to be where we are today. We still do endure different obstacles, but obstacles that were nowhere close to what people in the past had done and overcome to put us at the position that we are today. But it's also a good time to look at leaderships and Black leaders. I think it's great to see and learn from the lenses of Black leaders, to see what they had to talk about and see what they did to put us where we are today. People like MLK, Nelson Mandela, and in the sporting world too, I like to appreciate people like PK Subban. At Brock University, there are many people that were here and put us here today. So, yeah, I've definitely faced micro and macro aggressions in my sport. For me, it's about teaching others their wrongs and educating their wrongs, because a lot of the time they don't know that it is a microaggression. So whether it's a lesson on one-on-one or it's letting people around me know the wrongs, I think it's necessary to point out the wrongs, because you don't want that happening to others, or you don't want that happening to people around you. I also think that when you're around people, you start to get comfortable and stuff do come out. So ending things on the spot is a healthy way to confront, whether it's in a passive way or a way that you feel is adept for the situation. But I do think tackling this situation head on is the best way in ending microaggressions and racism, because you don't want it further spreading.
Yeah, no, literally. You said it all, but like, yeah. For me in my sport, I can't say necessarily I've experienced as much. It's probably very little, but it's still something. And as you said, I think just a way to kind of address it is to literally have that conversation. As people who get those specific comments or actions towards us, I think it's important that we take it upon ourselves to educate them, because some people, they might be ignorant to the fact that what they said or like what they did is a microaggression or is racist or like whatever the case is. I think it's important that we educate them because they might not even know where to find those resources to learn and to know what they did was wrong. So I think having the conversation, having discussions, especially like even at Brock, like we've had actually like a lot of conversations about like racism and talking about like what happens in your sport. So I think that was really good for them to do at the start of everyone's season, to just sit down with everyone and have like a little workshop of talking about scenarios that happen or could happen, or asking questions and concerns that they might have that maybe they've experienced or they just don't understand. So it's actually really good to talk. Talking helps a lot, and educating people is important in this time and age. So yeah.
Nice.
It means that I have to work 10 times harder than a lot of other people. But I think at the end of the day, like, I love being Black. I love my skin and who I am. So it's a beautiful thing for me. It means that I can do whatever I want to do, and whatever I put my mind to, I can do it. It also means that I have the opportunity to also educate people. As we just talked about before, just educating them about things that aren't right and that shouldn't have never been done, or if it happens or goes further, that it can come with a lot of consequences. So being Black, it means that we have to continue to educate people. We have to continue to have these discussions because it's important, and we wouldn't want it to happen to, you know, our offsprings in the future. So it's things like that that I think allow me to say I'm very happy and glad to be Black, even though we do have our challenges. I think it's also a beautiful thing because our skin's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that answer there. To me, being Black, I mean, it's everything. It sounds cliche, but yeah, being Black is beautiful. I think we are in positions to trailblaze in our own ways and open up a path that maybe the future had not foreseen. But I think we are putting ourselves in positions, and we're stronger than ever, and we have to continue to do extra and have conversations and create platforms for the future, because we're all we got, and together I think we are powerful. So yeah, being Black is everything. Yeah, there's been times where I felt outcasted due to my race. The way I overcome it, I dealt with it personally, and I hate to think that it's because of my race, but sometimes things are what they are, and dealing with that, whether it's talking to friends, whether it's having a positive outlook on life, and understanding situations. I think a lot of the time I've overcome it just personally, and reflecting on why things are what they are. But I think that there's times where there are situations where things might happen, and maybe that one person reaches out or notices, and that makes the world of a difference. So for me, I like to always include everybody, and that's how I deal with situations, because I know that it could feel very lonely being an outcast. So I deal with it really just by reflecting personally.
Yeah, kind of like what you said, like I would hate to think that that's like the reason that I'm ever outcasted. I'll definitely say like it's happened like when I was young. For me, like I just remember like going to my parents and like asking like, why did they leave me out? And like I think the best way to overcome it, or for me how I've overcome it, is kind of just understanding that, like, I hate to say like that's just how life is, or like that's just how the way it is, but like in a sense, like, let's be real, like it is what it is. Like that's just kind of how our reality was growing up, or like being in those specific situations. And it's unfortunate because it's those that are ignorant and those that have not taken the time to educate themselves and to learn that the world is a beautiful place with everyone in it. And Black people are beautiful and are in this world. So I think that For me, just kind of reflecting and sitting with myself and understanding that there are ignorant people in this world, but as I said before, like it is our opportunity to educate them and to kind of include them in the conversation, because sometimes we tend to have conversations with ourselves, but then like we should be having conversations with people that aren't of color and that are of different races. So it's all about just including everyone and also just self-reflecting.
For me, I think to date, my greatest accomplishment, I would just say currently, like being where I am today. I think tackling being a student athlete, being able to balance a personal lifestyle as well as balancing my sport, and as well as balancing like academics. I think every student athlete should be proud to be a student athlete. What we do is not easy by any means, and sometimes with limited resources. I think that each and every day comes with its own grind and its own trials and tribulations, but the way we handle it and the way that I think I've handled it has been pretty good, and I want to continue to do my best in sport and academics, and I appreciate every moment of it.
No, like literally, you said it all. Like, yeah, no, like my biggest accomplishment till this day is where I am today. Like, literally, that's what I was gonna say. I think, as you said, like it's not easy, and I've had people literally tell me like, how do you do it? And I don't know. Like, it's something that like you have to kind of be in it and just do it and kind of go with the flow. It's not easy to be a student athlete and then, you know, also like probably working jobs, and that's like kind of, you know, what I'm doing right now. It's not an easy thing to do, and I honestly just take it one day at a time. I'm very grateful for everyone and the people that have helped me get to where I am, and having that support system has definitely helped me continue to keep going and to keep pushing myself each and every single day. But yeah, my biggest accomplishment is literally just everything that I do, and how I'm able to do it is still something I ask myself till this day. So, yeah.
Never know.
Yeah, you just
get
get it done, literally. Yeah.